Don Kryptonium Remillionaire here, speaking right now. Today we are going to talk about Wynd DEX, the new decentralized exchange that launched on the Cosmos. Will it be a big disappointment? Will it be a great success? How the DEX is in relation to the Wynd DAO? All of this you are going to learn from the hand of Don Kryptonium. This is why before we start, you must like this video. It's down there. Just go, click like, and then we are done. So let's start with the Twitter. Let me introduce to you what is Wynd, because if you were staking Juno before, you probably received the airdrop. If you came after that, that might be not very clear. So the Wynd is the application that is built on Juno, but this is also multi-protocol, well, not multi-protocol, multi-application DAO. So the Wynd was formed by some members of the Confio and maybe also some other members, and they plan to create multi-DeFi application. So that could be, first of them could be DEX, maybe then could be some lending protocol. I'm just speculating that. And it will be in the hands of the DAO, in the community. So community will be voting on that. And of course, the largest allocation will have people who actually build that. So the first product on this Wynd DAO is the centralized exchange. And I'm going to look into this. And finally, if you receive the airdrop, you have the chances of dumping it. You know, if you dump it in the first minutes, you could dump it for like $1. Great deal. So what is Wynd DAO? How many tokens? I'm not really certain how many tokens there is, but you can see there is 20 million Wynd staked, and there is 3.5 million in the treasury. So totally right here, around 24 million. I heard somewhere that there is over 10 million Wynd that is liquid or around that. So we can estimate what is the market cap of this DAO. So when it comes to the stake tokens, you know, in the DEX, if you go DEX.WyndDAO, you can see the price is 24 cents. So we can see that staked value is around $5 million. Pretty good if you ask me. Plus unstaked, few $1 million that is out there. So if you go to the home, right, you can stake it. You can see I staked my DAO tokens. This is not proof of stake chain, so you're not securing protocol, but it more give you the rights to vote, right? So as you can see, I have 5 Wynd staked and I have 19 Wynd unstaked. And I was speaking about this before, you know, if I would like stake tokens for longer, you can actually choose the duration. Many people, when it started, it was like very confusing for the people because they thought if they stake for 30 days, it came back. So this was actually big flop. And it was like kind of fixed, but like some people staked for 730 days. This is just unbonding period, right? So if you stake for 30 days, then you click unstake, then you wait 30 days without receiving rewards till it arrives on your account. I also can claim some of the rewards because if you stake, you also receive the reward for being participant of this DAO. And then if we go to the vote, we can vote. So first product is of course DEX. Let's have a look into this. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about the user experience? Did you use it? Do you like it? Don't you like it? To be honest, at the first, it slightly reminds me a little bit of Osmosis, and this is not in the bad way. You know, I've been using it. It's pretty smooth, and it works the same way as everything else. So for example, if I'd like to deposit a little bit of Atom, so on the DEX, we have this big buttons over here. I'm going to connect my wallet. So I'm connecting the Kepler wallet. Smooth, very fast, like really impressed. So you can see the native Juno assets because Wynd is on the Juno chain. Its native is Juno here, and Wynd is also, you know, is CW20 here. But if I want to deposit non-native assets like Osmosis or Atom, I just hit IBC deposit. It's actually like super fast. It was not as fast with like any other DEX, I believe. So I'm really impressed how it works. You know, if I want to deposit USDC, let's see. that is integrated XLR. I wish they would integrate also other options, for security, like Gravity Bridge, which in my opinion is safer bridge. It might be slower, but the fees are much less because they compact the transaction, they batch the transactions, and it's secured by the validator. So hopefully I could see it, but don't want to elaborate on this that much. I have some of the native assets. Let's go to the swap and let's see how smooth is the swapping. So I have a little bit of Juno. Don't mind me, I'm going to use a few of the Wynd to swap to see how fast is it going. Like really, all of this very very similar to Osmosis. I like, and I must say I like it. So extremely smooth. We have the low fees, of course, as the standard across all of the chains, and I expect in around 6 seconds times the transaction is done. And yes, I was absolutely right. So like really like amazing work in DEX, and you can see that they were like really working and making sure. So we have the pools, and this is interesting because you need to know that those pools were heavily migrated from the Juno swap, which it's hard to have good words because into Juno swaps, there was engaged a lot of very prominent members of the Juno community, I believe supported heavily by the core one, and it was massive flop, so I'm really glad they saved this. So we have this massive pool Juno Atom, which is super important. So this is native of the Juno incentivized, right? We have Juno USDC, huge one, as I said. Hey, let's give people the option. Open another pool with Gravity Bridge. I think that would be very important because I believe the stablecoin pools are super important. So we have these migrated ones that are natively attached to the Juno, right? But we also have the new pools that appeared here, and it's Wynd/Juno and Wynd/Osmo, which is really great because I believe for the success of the DEX, you need your token to really be kind of natively and build the liquidity against this native asset. But of course, I believe that Juno/Atom and the Juno to stablecoins are also extremely important pools. So these two pools, I think they should stay and they should be heavily incentivized. And beyond that, the major pair should be done Wynd. And then whoever come from Juno, if come from Atom to Juno, you can seamlessly swap it. So 200,000 really good liquidity. This is going probably to talk, and these are incentivized pools, right? So how they are incentivized. So we have these gadgets. I'm not sure even how to pronounce it, but these are how distributed the incentives for DEX are. So as I said, we have the largest Atom Juno, Atom USDC, then it's probably Wynd, actually it's Juno Osmo, kind of. Well, it's okay. Actually, Osmo, kind of the hub. So you have how is the rewards being distributed. And the largest portion is Wynd/Juno, which makes sense. And I think this is the right way to distribute the incentives. So you can see the epoch is every 7 days. So you don't receive the rewards daily. You receive the rewards every 7 days for providing liquidity. And this shows you how many Wynd tokens will get distributed to liquidity providers every 7 days. So this is the next epoch will be 231,000 Wynd distributed accordingly, to the weight that you can see here that is probably chosen via the governance. So this is something that's really cool to see here. As I said, nothing wrong to say about the DEX, like really amazing user experience, but there will be some danger. So many people were complaining about dump to 20 cents. It started trading at the dollar, which I believe to me, the dollar was a little bit ridiculous. If I would have chance, I would dump it as the dollar. We can see now that staked value, as I said before, is $5 million. It's pretty cool for the startup DAO that is out there, it's not bad at all. So really, I would consider this a really successful launch. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes a little bit lower. We have still a little bit of positivity recently in the market, but this channel is not about speculating on the price. To be honest, I don't know what price is going to do. I don't know, I have no idea. So what are the difficulties? The competition is insane. Osmosis said openly, hey, you cannot compete with us. The Osmosis said, like, we're gonna get this. And Osmosis, extreme heavy marketing, very deep liquidity. So Wind will have massive difficulties to compete with Osmosis. There is also Crescent, that building and delivering a lot of stuff, and many other exchanges. To be honest, Wind did great. It delivered great experience. So how to focus? I think if Wind becomes major liquidity hub for Juno, that's first, right? The focus should be the Juno being the major liquidity hub. Doing deep liquidity for the stable coins, I would say that would be another step that is very important. And if they could provide the alternative to Osmosis, for example, if I want to bridge the USDC and I will go to the main page of Osmosis, I will pay like $15 fee using XLR. If WindDAO could provide alternative in Gravity Bridge and build deep pool for that, I think that would be really great alternative for many people, and this part they could win actually over Osmosis. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think maybe it's the failed idea? And then I wonder what protocols we are going to have in Juno. We are going to have a lot of new tokens coming to Juno. So probably building liquidity with the focus on the Juno ecosystem is the main part. They don't have to be larger than Osmosis, but they have to be go-to place for Juno assets and maybe for new assets that will come to the ecosystem. I would say maybe new Cosmosm assets. We have Composable, and I know the Confio team is close with Composable. So if there will be application that are built by the Composable team and they have their own token, hey, maybe it's a good idea to build the liquidity here. So with all that, let me know. As I said, great experience. Don Kryptonium approves. So hey, you Wind people, don't hate on Don Kryptonium, friends, okay? Kung hei fat choi.